Hi, and welcome back to another edition of Jamin. Man. I hope you guys are doing well. I was doing my recording, and my phone cut me off, so I had to restart the Bible lesson. I'm going to jump into it. Apparently, I don't have much space on my phone right now, so I'm just going to jump right into the lesson. Chapter 4, Genesis chapter 4, verse 17. And we're talking about Cain's family. If you recall, yesterday we talked about Cain became a wandering vagabond, he became a vagabond, which means he was wandering around till he came to the land of Nod. And he knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch, and he built a city and called the name of that city after the name of his son Enoch. To Enoch was born Irid, and Irid begot Mehujael, excuse me, begot Mehujael, begot Methushael, and Methushael begot Lamech. I have to apologize because to pronounce some of these names is really difficult. We're going through the line, the genealogy of Cain's descendants at this point. And then Lamech took for himself 2 wives. The name of one was Adah, and the name of the second was Zillah. And Adah and Jabal, he was the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. His brother's name was Jabal. He was the father of all those who play the harp and flute. And as for Zillah, she also bore Tubal Cain, an instructor of every craftsman in bronze and iron, and the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. Then Lamech said to his wives, Adah, Zillah, hear my voice. Wives of Lamech, Lamech. Saying it too fast. Listen to my speech, for I have killed a man for wounding me, every young man for hurting me. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, then Lamech 77-fold. Obviously, Lamech heard about Cain and how God will avenge Cain's death. And so Lamech's saying, well, if he's going to avenge Cain's, he's going to avenge mine 77-fold. Why? Because he's trying to protect himself. In verse 25, it talks about a new son for Adam. Remember Adam and Eve. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and named him Seth. For God has appointed another seed for me instead of Abel, whom Cain killed, and began to call on the name of the Lord. Now we're doing chapter 5. I am going through this rather quickly because of time. My phone cut me out, so I'm going to read through this quickly, and hopefully I can go through some of the information through my study notes. Adam's descendants. Then, this is the book of the genealogy of Adam. In the day of Adam, God created man. He made him in the likeness of God. He created him male and female, and he blessed them and called them mankind in the day they were created. And Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. After he begot Seth, the days of Adam were 800 years, and he had sons and daughters. So after Seth, he had more sons, he had more daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and then he died. It doesn't indicate like how many children that Adam and Eve had. We don't know. It just said that he had more. So, but clearly that was my guess is that was the job of Eve, is to raise, to have children and to raise them up. And Adam's job, I believe, was to tend the garden and to keep it. And and for both Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply. So they had a plethora of children. I have no idea how many children they had, but it was quite a few. And in some countries, people are paranoid for having too many children. And because they blame money and population. Interesting. Okay. And this earth isn't even overly populated. I mean, we have like so much space on this earth that, you know, you can have 10 more times the amount of people that we have on it. Okay. So Adam was 109. I'm sorry. Adam was 930 years old, and then he died. Seth lived 105 years and begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had sons and daughters. So all of the days of Seth were 912 years, and then he died. Enosh lived 90 years and begot Canaan. After he begot Canaan, Enosh lived 815 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and then he died. What I find interesting is that it talks about the husbands and how long they lived. It doesn't say, it doesn't indicate how long the women lived. That would be interesting to know. That's just a question I have. I don't know about you guys. I have that question. So, all right. Canaan lived 70 years and begot Mahalalel. Again, I apologize because some of these names are very difficult to pronounce. After he begot Mahalalel, Canaan lived 840 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. Mahalalel lived 65 years and begot Jared. I don't know. After he begot Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years. He had sons and daughters. So all of the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and then he died. I guess sometimes people, the reason why they left the chapter out was because, you know, people might find reading the genealogy boring. I think it's interesting, personally. I mean, it's long, it's tedious, and it's difficult to pronounce, but I think it's interesting. Jared lived 162 years and begot Enoch. And after he begot Enoch, Jared lived 800 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Jared were 962 years, and then he died. Enoch lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. After he begot Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had sons and daughters. Interesting point there. I'm going to highlight that because it talks about Enoch walking with God. Out of all the people that were born, why does it mention that he walked with God? Here it says in my study notes, I'm going to cheat here for a little bit. It says here in my study notes, Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. And if you go back to Hebrews 11:5, which explains what that verse means, Enoch was taken directly to heaven without seeing death. So Enoch didn't even die. He walked with God, which means God came down, says, okay, Enoch, let's go, and took him into heaven. So you can go to heaven right now the way you are if you're quote, walking with God. That's interesting. I wonder if that happens today. I don't think so because of all the sin that's in this world. Ah, man, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. So Enoch walked with God 300 years and had sons and daughters. Wow. That just blows me away. God walked with Enoch for 300 years, and Enoch had sons and daughters during that time. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God. And he was not, for God took him. So Enoch didn't die. Okay, wow, let's continue. We only got a few more verses to go. Methuselah lived 187 years and begot Lamech. After he begot Lamech, Methuselah lived 882 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Lamech lived 182 years and had a son, and he called his name Noah, saying, "This one will comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord has cursed." After he begot Noah, Lamech lived 595 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old. And Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So there it is. Thus ends chapter 5. Now we're going to be talking tomorrow about the flood. What's really interesting is my wife's mother, she does the whole Ancestry.com thing to learn about our family's genealogy. And she has this really awesome tree on her wall that she has created. And through Ancestry.com, she has traced her family's lineage all the way to King David, which is in the Bible, who is in the Bible. And as a matter of fact, she traced it all the way back to Adam and Eve because of the genealogy that's in the Bible. That's really interesting. So all of us are descendants of Adam and Eve through, I'm guessing, through Seth and Cain. Yeah, that is something else. One of the questions that people ask is, about the age. How is it possible for anyone to live past, to live that long, 180 years, whatever. I think I saw it back here. Yeah. They even asked that in the study notes, how did these people live so long? Some believe that the ages listed were lengths of family dynasties rather than ages of individual men. That doesn't make any sense, though, to me, because it says that, Seth lived for so long and then had children, and then he lived even more. So I don't think it has to do with dynasty. I think they really lived that long. And again, there was no disease, and there was no pollution. There's nothing. Those who think these were actual ages offer three explanations. The human race was more genetically pure in the early time period. I believe that to be 100% true and accurate. So there was less disease to shorten life spans. To rain had yet fallen on the earth, and rain, like rain from the sky, not rain as men of royalty, not like that. So rain from the sky had yet fallen, hasn't fallen yet on the earth, and the expanse of water above kept out harmful cosmic rays and shielded people from environmental factors that hasten aging. God gave people longer lives so they would have time to fill the earth. Remember, God commanded Adam and Eve to be fruitful and to multiply. Well, that didn't end with just Adam and Eve. It went through their descendants, with Seth and Cain. So they lived much longer lives and healthier lives than we do today. So I think that's really fascinating. Tomorrow we're going to jump right into Noah. We kind of started it off with the ending of chapter 5, where it talks about Noah, and Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth, which I don't know how you pronounce his name. But anyways, we're going to read about Noah and the flood. So I'm excited about that one. Oh boy. So, yeah, there it is in a nutshell. Hey, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Remember to stay safe, and hope to see you guys back here again tomorrow as we dive into chapter 6 of Genesis. My goal is to read through the entirety of the Bible. Hopefully I can do it within 1 year. What's so interesting, I found in the back of my Bible, they have a reading list, and it skips around. It skips chapters, it skips verses. I'm not going to do that because I think it's really important for us to read through every chapter, every verse. And so, just like today, we read about the whole genealogy. And again, there's going to be words in there that I will not be able to pronounce, so please forgive me. Just bear with me as I attempt to pronounce the names and of people's names. There are people's names today that we can't really pronounce, but that's okay. And there it is. I hope you guys do well. In the meantime, this is Jamin. I will see you again in the next video, which will be tomorrow. You guys take care. Peace.